So how long have you worked for Emory and Henry College?
Since July 1st of this year.
Okay,
Just recently joined this liberal arts college in Southwest Virginia.
nice. And can you talk a little bit about what your position is and describe a little bit about your role?
Yes, I'm the director of the new Vlissingen Center for Career and Professional Development. I'll be able to share some slides with you that writes all that out. I was at Wake Forest, going into my fourth year. Love Winston-Salem, still live there. It's about 2 hours away, and I'm able to work here about 4 days on the ground and then at home during the weekends and stuff. But so yeah, it's been a fast ride, very exciting place to be. We received, Emily, a $5 million endowment from
Wow,
the Van Vlissingen family. It's a Dutch family. He's an entrepreneur and he's not an alum. He's very close to the president, and he had two things in mind: start a school business, which we're doing, and hire me and build a new career center.
that's awesome. So can you share a little overview of who Emory and Henry College is and what it is that defines your school and makes it unique?
That's a great question. It's one reason I decided to come here. It's a liberal arts school at about 1,100 students with a very strong pre-health program.
Okay.
And I know a lot about that with my daughter in med school, right? We have an incredible pre-health program. About 25% of our students that go into pre-health, and we're training them to be PAs and PTs and OTs, med school, and it's a great group. We have a very high placement rate there. Then we have a strong arts and humanities background, which is typical of liberal arts schools where I went to school at the College of Worcester. Reminds me of Denison, if you know Denison, Otterbein, those type of schools. So we certainly have a footprint there. But because we're in Southwest Virginia, we have a very strong environmental studies program with outdoor education and an equestrian team,
Okay.
which is really interesting. And 40% of our student body are athletes.
Wow, okay.
And we play in a Division III ODAC conference, although confidentially, I think we will eventually move up to Division II. We'll see. The other thing I will say, it is historically been a school with a strong endowment, and it's been an Appalachian school. Let me describe that. We draw a lot of our students, Emily, from West Virginia down into Southwest Virginia, northern North Carolina, Asheville area, beautiful, right? Eastern Tennessee. So it's the Appalachian Trail, really, when you stop to think about it.
Yeah.
First gens, I came here to make a difference in students' lives. I know this is a long answer to your question, but
No, this is
it's
awesome.
a lot of first gens, under marginalized students, and they don't have parents that went to college for the most part.
Right.
And it's kind of that blue collar work ethic type of school. It's beautiful, and we've got great leadership. We are also, to keep going, and I will to conclude this, is we started a school of business because we've got a strategic plan, a campaign called Pivot Towards Your Future, which is integrating connected learning to the world of work. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's pretty cool a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. That was a great overview. Thank you. So, what would you say that you love most about your job today?
I'm building a program from scratch. They did not have a career center here 6 months ago. They had one person, and they didn't use the word career. It was all about, they call it the ampersand center. It's like career education and life. And so I came in and started a Career and Life Ready campaign, and I was able to build a team. Wait till I tell you about my team. So I come in here from Wake Forest with 30 years experience, and I could have stayed at Wake Forest, Power 5 conference. I was at Notre Dame for 18 years before that. I've got plenty of awards. We do a lot in diversity too, but I like to build, and I really enjoy being creative to come up with a simplistic way, and especially during COVID and the changes in the political environment, to give students a simplistic, yet thorough and multifaceted career and life ready campaign. So I'm building and I'm creating.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're going to be making a huge difference. So can you,
Some days it's like, oh, can I do this?
yeah, I
Yes,
bet.
I can. As I was able to recruit some talent, I didn't know I was going to be able to actually bring people in from the outside to live here, because we don't have a stoplight in Emory, Virginia.
Yeah.
Zero. We have a train, but not a stoplight. And to recruit people here, it was challenging, but I got some rock stars.
Good. Yeah, that's a big job. So can you explain a little bit about your educational background and your previous work experiences and how that led you to where you are now?
Yeah, and I'll try to be concise with this. College of Worcester undergrad, as I said, liberal arts guy, history and economics. And I was, both my kids played D1 basketball. I was going to be a basketball coach at the college level. But it didn't replace competing, and it didn't replace the kind of joy I had in helping people succeed. I became a career coach. And then met my wife at Bowling Green State. She was in admissions at the time. And we took off for Northern New York and worked at Clarkson University, which is engineering school, then on to St. Lawrence. I was 28 years old when I got my first director job. And it's for a director at St. Lawrence University, which is a small liberal arts school in Northern New York. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is.
And then I went to Colgate from there, which helped me tie in New York, Wall Street careers, consulting, the arts, media, retail. I really learned a lot. And I was going to be at Colgate for a while. It's interesting how my career came up. But then Notre Dame called me and said, would you build a career center in South Bend, Indiana? I'm like, holy smokes, this is 1999, right? And I did. And we came in, we built one career center, renovated a dorm. I was there 18 years, as I said. Then, before I left, I raised $20 million to build a new career center attached to the Notre Dame football stadium. And we did it.
Wow.
And I become a little bit too much of a fundraiser. Which led me to Wake Forest. The provost at Notre Dame, Nathan Hatch, became president at Wake Forest several years before I left Notre Dame. And he called me and said, hey, come down and start a career and life ready program, career education for classes. I did that. He decided to retire. Simultaneously, Emory and Henry had this $1 million grant. Because I thought, am I going to make a bigger impact at Wake Forest, where there's lots of money and students come from educated families, or do I use my knowledge and experience in business, engineering, liberal arts, communications to do something special here?
Yeah.
And Heather and I talked about that. She said, I can't believe you left Wake Forest. A lot of people couldn't believe it. But I did. And it's been exciting, exhilarating, lots of fun.
That's awesome. Sounds like you have done a lot of great work. And that's a good question to ask yourself, where are you going to be of the most use? Where can you help out the most? That's awesome.
That's where I'm at right now.
Well, congratulations. So after working with Colgate and Notre Dame, Wake Forest, and now Emory and Henry College, have you noticed any similarities and differences between the career centers and how their students interact with them and what it's been like to build them up?
That's a great question. Any place I've gone, there's been the challenge of student engagement.
Yeah.
It is having students use the career center. And wherever I've been, it was underutilized. The facilities were terrible. They weren't using technology. And I was able to come in and do a couple different things, build infrastructure with student engagement and buy-in from faculty. There's similarities there. And then simultaneously create an extensive employer relations campaign and be out in the front and find opportunities for students. A lot of career centers don't believe in that. It's all, I call it like push-pull. Where the pull many times is, you just pull jobs from the internet, and you got alumni that post jobs, you do some career fairs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my philosophy is much different than that. Yeah, I'll take the pull, because I can find some great jobs at Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and then McKinsey and those companies. But what if I did a push campaign and really went out and developed relationships with employers all over the world?
Right.
And we did that. Because you have the student body in one hand that need to be engaged and educated, because there are many times that are unaware of how to write resumes and cover letters. And you would think you and I are sitting here in 2020, and you still get bad resumes. You still have students that can't interview. And that's like the people piece. So the other thing I've noticed is that a lot of faculty where I've been is, hey, stay away from me. I'm teaching the courses. I'll do my own thing. And my strategy was more integration.
Okay.
What can you do with a major in history, art, and those kind of things? So you kind of build this infrastructure, and you have to build good teams. So wherever I've gone, they haven't had the right staff. And that's almost like that's the team you're going to play with every week.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't block and tackle and be creative, I'm a football fan too, and throw the post pattern, and be successful, then you're not going to be where you want to be.
Right.
Here's the other thing that I think is interesting. Looking at 30 years and saying, all this technology, and you can do it all with computers and recruiting systems. Absolutely. Look, we're sitting here on camera right now. But there's the people. There's soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You can know R and Python and Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator. If you can't talk to people and work in teams and have finesse and business savvy, then you got a little bit of a problem there.
Absolutely.
So it's the blend of the touch and technology. The people touch, that word maybe is not the best word, but it's the personalization of helping students become career and life ready, and let them follow their passions of what they're good at. Because we're in a peer influence culture right now. They got those influencers out there and everything. And I think we hold steady on making students that they can compete in the world of work.
Right.
But you got to bring them to lead a horse to water. You got to make them drink it. And I think that some of those analogies hold true in what we're doing. It's a long answer to your question.
No, that was a great answer. And you've kind of touched on this through that answer, but what would you say is the main area that career centers are kind of lacking on or they need to improve on? And what advice would you give them to help them grow and allow them to better engage with their students?
I think it certainly is leveraging technology and also your alumni networks and the engagement piece of connecting the alums to the students and creative ways to do that. I think career centers, for the most part, engage 15-20% of their population. I'll give you one example. This is data proven. So Wake Forest, we said our goal is going to 80% of the students will have a profile. I have a staff at Wake Forest. My co-director of business and I had a staff of 44 people. 44. Our best engagement rate was 73%.
Okay.
That is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Most career centers, Emily, are 20% engagement of students, 22%. They're missing a boatload, I call them kids, of students who are unengaged. So that's what we're doing here at Emory and Henry. So by hiring staff, where we had one person, they had 42 appointments last year, 42. This year alone, we've had 278.
Wow.
Right now, as we speak, 278. Yeah.
Good for you. That's a huge difference.
And there's the career education piece too. We're teaching courses for credit, and we're offering internships for credit. And a lot of schools, I think you're probably in pretty good shape, but a lot of programs, they don't offer credit-bearing opportunities for career.
Yeah.
I think you got to do that in the world of work.
I agree.
We're in a credential society. you've got to have credits and you've got to have requirements. So if you build in some of those opportunities where students can say, I can get 3 credits this semester for doing an internship with a faculty member, check.
Yeah. And
Then they've got, and I can't wait to show you my Career and Life Ready graphic, because that's going to be very clear of what we're doing differently than other schools. Go ahead.
Good. So from like a student perspective, what's one thing that you wish that they knew about their career centers?
That's a great question. I think that I wish that they knew how much knowledge we have to get them ready to compete.
Yeah.
And be successful. Students many times think, let's say your peers at Ohio U. I look at all my peers, this is my competition for jobs. It's not. For you, it's Ohio State, right? It's maybe Miami of Ohio. The list goes on. It depends where you want to live. And I think it's really important that students understand that there's a resource there available to them. That they've got to buy in, though. They've got to buy in to actually participate in the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
But career centers, it's on us to be able to demonstrate value of why you should do that. That's the other thing. I don't think career centers, they throw up a web page and they have social media, check. We'll wait to see the students that are coming in. No, you got to build alliances. Are you a member of any clubs?
I am in the Ralph and Lucy Shea Sales Center, if you're familiar.
Nice. And how many members do you
have? Over 500.
Oh my God. That's huge.
Yeah.
One of my strategies is to go to student organizations, the leadership groups, and engage the stakeholders who are leading captains of sports teams, president of the debate club I just met with. He says, hey, would you come in and talk to my debate club and do a career preparation program for them? I really like this. Yes. So I went from 1 student, Emily, to 52. I did it in 1 hour.
That's awesome.
So you scale the engagement. And you go to Greek life. They've got to do educational programs to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Right? That's the wrong way to say it, but they have to do it to show that there's value in the actual organization.
Right.
So I think that's a big piece.
Yeah, I agree. So do you have any advice on how colleges and universities can keep their students engaged and motivated to find a full-time job during this time when, it's definitely a struggle and people are probably not as motivated to find a full-time job when they think that the opportunities are more limited?
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a specific example.
Okay.
I've got a couple of them. So I'm at Wake Forest. We're working with students, engaging them. We have the resume. Here's where I think career centers many times miss it, is that you come in, let's say I'm working with you. We'll go through the resume and what are your goals, what kind of companies do you want to work with, and good luck. Let me know how it goes. That's where you miss it. Rather, I have students coming in. They are prepared resumes, right? Then I said, let's connect you to HR managers that I know and alumni that can help you get interviews.
Yeah.
So, oh, can we do that? Yes, let's try. So Peloton. I don't know if you're a Peloton fan or not. I am. I had 3 students. They all were interested in health and wellness, exercise, sports.
Okay.
And I said, hey, do you know Peloton's got these internship programs? They have 25 openings. So I have three students. They're all women. And all 3 of them landed at Peloton.
Wow.
I kept them engaged by showing them the possibilities of their engagement and connecting it to real opportunities. Along the way, we had some we missed, but they were interviewing. Hey, I just got a call. I can't believe it. I got a call from BounceX, digital marketing, New York City. And I didn't even know they existed until I met you. So I have a whiteboard in my office. When they come in, whether it's public policy in Washington, D.C., or it's Peloton, we have a list of companies and organizations in grad school sometimes that they're going to target. So I think you've got to give student lists and real-time opportunities to say, what are the possibilities? And all those 3 women at Peloton, they killed it. They loved them. They're going back next summer.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great advice. So focusing more on you, if you were to look back at your college self and know everything that you know now, what advice would you give about college, finding your first job, finding a career, anything?
All right, can I share my screen?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. I want to show you something. This is the advice I'd give them. And I've got to go to here, share. So I'm going to show you a graphic that I want to show you on. Okay, view. All right, this is what I showed Heather that she really liked. To the left, I always like to develop a plan. Students, Gen Zs like plans.
Absolutely.
You know, what do I have to do? How do I get there? And what is the plan? Then you put it into action. So you write your resumes, you target your companies, you look at geographics, you get your alumni base, and then you go into action. And that's applying and interviewing, and then we're going to succeed. We're going to succeed 99% of the time, even in COVID. Then, well, if I plan and put it in action, how do I become successful? Well, then you go to the right, and this is what I'm doing. 1, learning new skills inside and outside the classroom. Here's an example. I have a Marcom student. She is interested in Spectrum, and she's teaching herself Illustrator because they haven't taught it yet. So she's learning skills inside and outside the classroom. We're in a skill-based economy right now.
Right.
Number 2, work. You're doing an internship, Emily Myers. All right, check. All right, you're gonna have a great resume. Maybe you have 2 work experiences. And then a lot of career centers says, okay, we're done. No, you gotta lead. You gotta be a leader in an organization, in your church, in your athletic area. You need to find where you can lead or do public speaking. All right, or public speaking, like debate team. Then I don't stop there. You got to give back. What's your community involvement? What have you done in social change? What have you done to make your city better? These poor kids, what are you doing at the Boys and Girls Club? United Way. So you put that on your resume, and then you connect it to opportunities. So this is my strategy I have going forward.
I think that's a great strategy, and I feel like every student should see this.
And it's not complicated.
No, you made that so simple.
You chunk it, and I will tell you, you bring me a resume of student have the 4 wheels, I can connect you. One example, Major League Baseball. Student wants to do an internship at MLB. We're in Southwest Virginia. He wants to be in New Jersey, Parsippany. And World Series is over. He did all those 4 wheels, and now I connected him to Joe Robondo, Vice President of MLB, who's going to connect him with the HR director for an interview. Done. Check.
Boom. Just like that.
So that's what I wanted to kind of show you there.
That was awesome. That was well said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I tested it with Heather. I was, here I am, about 30 years of experience, and I've known Heather for so long. I said, I'm a little nervous. I said, I don't know if I should show you yet. I was ready. She said, you better show me. You better shoot. I've known you. I showed it to her, and she said, oh, yeah, you got to show Emily next week.
Yeah. Yeah, you got my mind working. I'm like thinking about my resume right now. I'm like, okay, got to touch it up. That was awesome. Well, that was pretty much all the questions that I had for you. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share about Emory and Henry College? Any advice? Anything about GradLeaders? Anything?
I'll say this, that small liberal arts schools like us in COVID, there's challenges. Because when you don't have students on campus, I didn't mention, we are hybrid. And we have like 1,100 students. Luckily, we have this health program, pre-health, that we have a Marion campus, and it's very social distancing. But then the rest of our campus, we're only about 30% full in the dorms. So we spread the students out. I say this because schools of our size are struggling financially.
I'm sure.
It's not, in schools like Ohio State have these big endowments, but they're even starting to look at possible layoffs, you know? Thank God for the vaccine. We're going to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. It's just a beautiful place to, this picture behind me is obviously staged, but when I walk out of my office, which is a standalone career center, by the way, beautiful place, that's my view behind me.
Awesome.
It's pretty. It you know what, Emily, it reminds me a little bit of Athens.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
hills,
thing.
lots of trees.
The bricks.
And yeah. So that part's good. But I look forward to working with you. If you need any help down the road or you need a connection, let me know. Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll definitely take you up on that.
You'll do well. You're very
you.
good on You're very good on Zoom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've had lots of practice.
Oh, you're a natural. I can't believe, seriously. What do you think? No, seriously. What do you want? Do you want to do? Do you want to do digital marketing? Do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I think I'm leaning definitely more towards digital marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, send me your resume someday.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
Are you working with your career center?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you got a good one there.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, they're very good.
And I think that a lot of questions you ask me, you're doing it yourself. Well, I look forward to see where you end up with your career.
Thank you. Me too.
And if you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn, please do so.
I will do that. Well,
Okay.
Thank you again so much. I really appreciate everything that you've said, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, you take care.
You too.
Good luck.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe. Bye-bye.